and welcome to our stream. I'm Anya with Restream, and joining me today is super awesome guest, Dmitry, our lead designer. How are you?
Hello from London. I'm Dmitry. I'm designing here stuff.
Designing here. This is super exciting because today is probably one of the first times we're actually talking in depth about visuals and how to design your streams, and we have so many different exciting topics to cover. So definitely be sure to bring your questions in the chat, and if you want to see more content from us, don't forget to subscribe. All right, so let's say hello to some folks in our live chat. Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking in. I am going to go ahead and acknowledge a few comments. By the way, you can already start asking your questions about visuals and design for Dmitry and just in general. And also, if you can let us know where in the world you're watching from, that would be also very interesting to see where folks are checking in. So I am currently in Austin, Texas. And Dmitry, as you said, you are in London.
I'm from London. London.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I'm going to just highlight a few awesome comments that are coming in from here. I see Matt is checking in from Czech Republic. Hello, it's our product manager. Good to see you, as always. Steven, also from our team, is checking in from Texas. Howdy. I see Max is coming in from Bulgaria. I think this is our Max, our email Max. I love that. There are more people from London. There's Frederick here. There is Sean in Tennessee. I think it's Chattanooga, but I'm not gonna bet on that. Hello from Buffalo. I see people checking in from Brazil. That is beautiful. Stream, great product watching from United States. That's beautiful. Well, hello everybody. Greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. Hello everyone from Johnny. This is a very nice turnout for the beginning of the stream. This is amazing. Hello from Emirates. Hello from India. Hello from Oregon. I see Bronx, New York. Oh my God, this is so exciting. This is more action than I expected, to be honest. Let me hide.
Yeah, so many places, isn't it?
I know, this is beautiful. Gosh, wow. Charles is saying hello from San Francisco. I'm watching from Ghana, says Samuel. Wow, it's just such a lovely chat. You guys are in the right place. We're going to have a wonderful discussion today. Pittsburgh, Canada. +1 to Bulgaria. This is good. And Sweden is also here. I like that. Hi. I see somebody from Heidi. That's beautiful. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, and I see we have our moderators in the chat. They say hi, everybody, and thanks for joining in. So keep bringing up your questions. We have a lot of interesting design conversations today that we are going to cover. And in the end, we'll have a whole full-blown Q&A session where we'll focus exclusively on your questions. But before we go there, I wanted to show you a few things that we prepared, that we've been working on. I would like to actually start with a small introduction from you, Dmitry. I know people understand that you design things here. Can you tell a little bit about your background? Like, when did you start designing? Like, what's kind of your story before you joined Restream, and when you joined us? What are you working on these days?
Yeah, oh my God. It was a long path. I'm designing more than like 21 year, I can say. Like my experience with the design, it's already okay to sell the cigarettes and alcohol, isn't it? Yeah, it is what it is. And I absolutely love to spend time on the designing tools for creators. I used to work in Sketch. I used to work in Rive. Rive, it's a vector engine, like interactive vector engine, etc., etc. Sketch, it's something like Figma, but before Figma, etc. Yeah, and right now I spending my time here in Restream, creating for creators as well. So exciting thing.
You work on a lot of different things at Restream. Your main focus is actually product. So all the new beautiful UX and UI improvements that you'll be seeing in the upcoming days, weeks, months, years is partially something that you are overseeing, but you're also helping out a lot with marketing. So today we are going to talk about how how to think about design and visuals, what simple principles you can apply to make your live streams look good if you are not fortunate enough to have wonderful designer or whole design team or creative agency behind you, right? So we're trying to make sure that this conversation is about how to keep things simple, how to pay attention to some core simple principles to keep things elegant and clean. And this is when your expertise is going to be needed. So
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
yeah. Let's get started with a conversation about designing our space, right? So we recently redesigned Restream Studio, which we're super proud of, and our wonderful producer Charles recently created this video that kind of tells the story of how we reimagined our space. I would love to play it because I'm so moved by it. And after that, we'll talk about what you did today with your studio to kind of match with your background and kind of like how you think about your physical space, and maybe provide a few tips for people who are thinking about streaming from their home or office, like what they need to pay attention to. But first, a little story about how we got this studio renovated.
When you look at the really giant live streamers, you might be mistaken to think that you need the perfect setup just to start live streaming. You don't. But at some point, upgrading changes everything. This was the original Restream live studio. A camera, a mic, a desk, some shelves, and whatever those things are. Sales ran demos, many remote meetings were had, and of course this is where the live streams happened. And it worked, because live streaming isn't about the room you're in, it's about showing up. But it was time to level up from the ground up, which is where the fun began. Brand new set design, sound treatment, teleprompter, camera, mics, the works. Then came the test runs. And of course, the first ever live stream from the brand new studio.
Hello, and welcome to our stream.
Hey.
The mission always remained the same, but with more control, better sound, gorgeous lighting, and a lot less friction. And ultimately, greater confidence.
Look at how amazing you guys look. Absolutely amazing.
But here's the thing. You can start live streaming with whatever you have. A phone or a laptop, and an idea is enough. And whether you're streaming from a full studio or a park bench somewhere, Restream is with you every step of the way.
So yeah, there was a little bit of work done here, and I love how Charles told the story. Thank you so much for producing this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now let's go ahead and kind of switch to you. So today you were on a mission to join me in the stream to talk about design, and we thought about how it would be nice to start with your physical space, right? How were you preparing? What were you thinking? How did you build your surrounding area?
Yeah, basically we thinking about how to make studio more flexible, etc. And because if we place a lot of, I don't know, furniture and screw it to the walls, etc., it's gonna be impossible to recreate in the other locations, because we working from different locations, and I working from home, and I supposed to like set up the studio at home, and etc. So I get this like very simple, very quick idea how to design the studio in the way like everyone can set up at home and like in another studio, etc. And especially if you don't have special equipment like I am, for example. I just like my apartment basically here. The key thing is light source. The one thing what is like a lot of people on, especially on YouTube, love to talk about how good this camera is, how good this camera are, etc. And the key point is it like what kind of light you selecting. And for this purposes, we should just need like key light here. Like I use only one light source, and it used like a diffuser and you can use as a diffuser something like a sheet of like a white sheet or something like that as a diffuser, and you can use just a table lamp or something like that as a light source, and it's good enough. Second thing is cameras. Cameras, it shouldn't be extremely expensive cameras, etc. But when you select the cameras, consider to select the camera with a LUT support. LUT is a looking color table. So if you shoot something with your iPhone by default, or like Android phone, or just any camera, shoot something, or use it like a webcam, by default it use default settings, and it makes picture a little bit harsh because camera can't really capture in real time soft, nice image how we see it. So the solution is to use LUTs. So we, like me and Anya, right now, we shoot in log or log footage, and we apply real-time LUT, but we do it differently. For example, my camera have this option with the real-time LUT in it, and I just like can apply and connect this camera straight to the computer, and it just works. And in terms of how Anya set up it, she used camera without real-time LUT, but she connected to the capture card, and it's transferred through the capture card, etc. So the point is to capture flat image as possible and then apply LUT. If you can't really do that, just select the camera where you prefer the picture quality. I don't know, it can be like any brand. I don't want to like advertise to any brand here. Like just what you like or what you have, and it shouldn't be extremely like new camera, etc. One thing is you can connect it to the computer somehow, because not every, you can't connect just photo camera. It should be a video option there, and your camera shouldn't overheat, etc. So and it's relatively inexpensive. It's like half of the price of the basically a phone. If you don't have camera, you can use phone, etc. But the light is way more matters. What matters? And for example, if we're talking about background, like we have this conversation in terms of like what kind of background should be white or like more like dark, etc. And I prefer using dark background just because I can put the light point on me, like from here you can see the shadow from the key light here. I use only one light right now, and it's like just table lamp here, and that's it. Nothing else. I can put a lamp just right here, and the background it like way less lit than I am, and it helps me to pop up myself on the like make the picture 3D, and my background is not much distracting you, and more like adds to the scene and try to is like trying to emphasize the talking head basically like myself. yeah yeah.
It's all nicely color coded. In your situation, you kind of like have it all, like within the same warm color. And I think it's an important thing to think about, right? Like we design our background in the same way. We can put some accents there if we want to, if that has a meaning. But generally speaking, if your background has a bunch of like red dots, orange dots, green splashes of color, like it is a little distracting. So I totally hear you on the idea that the most important thing in the frame ideally should be you and your message and your narrative. So that really works out. It's interesting about lights. I couldn't agree more that light is the most important thing. The best camera in the world is not going to look great in complete darkness, right? And very simple iPhone camera can support pretty decent picture. Also, you mentioned LUTs. Just for people who don't know, can you explain what that is? I mean, first time I heard that term, I was kind of like, I need to Google this real quick, so maybe we can help folks out.
Yeah, it's relatively simple, relatively complicated thing. But in general, what we should do, we have certain footage what camera capture. And this footage should be some sort of like flat as much as possible. And usually modern cameras provide log footage. Log, it's logarithmic algorithm something like that. And you can convert this log footage to the normal Rec 709. Rec 709, it's how we see the video. It's called the Rec 709. So in general, we should compress the video and remove the LUT, add the LUT with the like compression, etc., etc. And changing the LUTs, how like what kind of different files with the LUTs you use, it changes, let's call it filter or look of your camera. You can be like more dramatic, like Anya right now.
Very dramatic.
She is very dramatic, LUT, like from cinema cameras.
Dramatic blue, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it's called.
Dramatic blue. Yeah.
Dramatic
And
blue,
I am just like a newbie
Neutral.
here in terms of live streaming, at least. And I use just like neutral color with my camera, and that's it. It's like I just convert this log footage. Again, if you don't have ability or knowledge, or you just don't care about it, it's totally fine. At least your light setup is correct, etc., etc. The main thing about LUTs and why it's matter, because we all have different skin tones. And usually, if you set up your camera correctly and you apply correct LUT, your skin tone eventually should be very natural and lifelike. Like, for example, Anya use dramatic color grading, and it's like very cinematic, all of this stuff. But the skin looks very natural. And I
does
am,
look
for
blue.
example, it's like just
So
random lights right now
Yeah.
here. I don't use some sort of like makeup or something like. I just like sitting here and talking with you, etc., etc. But because I use this LUT, it just makes skin more natural,
Yeah.
and picture have enough contrast for better precision. Again, try to avoid white light, because some people can see your streams not on the iPhone or like mobile device, iPads, etc., but it can be like huge tele, and nobody really want to see white glowing huge source of light, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be too much for sure. I was going to do a quick demonstration because I have this wonderful device that actually controls. I have several sets of lights. So I have my key light, which I will not be turning off because that's going to not look good. But I do have a few things. So I have like the behind light that kind of creates a little extra light for my background, which for the sake of this conversation, we decided to turn off to give it a little bit more dramatic look. And I also have this accent light, which sometimes also called hair light, because it mostly kind of like gives this kind of hair glow. And if I turn that off, see, like it gets really dramatic dark and even more kind of like blue.
Moody.
But
Yeah.
and moody, which sometimes could work, but probably not for this stream. And just to sum it up with LUTs, I like to think about them as Instagram filters. So if you're using something like Instagram, imagine that you can do like dramatic, cool, warm, cozy. So that is the type of thing that you can apply to your live streams. And you're right, there are different ways to do it. Maybe they're already included with your camera. In my case, we actually had to install them, and we're using Elgato Comlink to basically trick my computer into thinking that my big DSLR camera is a webcam. And you can also install them, I believe, on your phone if you happen to have iPhone Pro 14 version or maybe 15 version or higher. So some of those LUTs can be installable even on mobile device if you're using it as a camera. So something to consider as well. I would like to acknowledge a few people from chat because live streams are interactive. That's the most beautiful part and the core of it. And then we will transition into conversation about countdowns. Speaking of countdowns, I think I'm just going to acknowledge this because it's cool. So Rainbow Unicorn says, nice countdown photos. We are about to come back to this topic. So countdowns is going to be the next thing we're going to discuss. This is how you shoot it. Can you?
Yeah.
You said no name brands when we were preparing for the stream, but I guess that's out of the window at this
Yeah,
point.
like my camera doesn't have any brand name, etc. I just love it.
But what is it at this point?
It's a Sigma who usually produce lenses, and everyone use Sigma lenses. If you have camera, you probably can attach and they use these lenses. Absolutely amazing. But they eventually made the cameras, and I just love how simple it is. You can see I'm some sort of like fan of this kind of minimalistic aesthetics and etc. Which
No, it's a beautiful camera. I remember seeing it in person when we met in London, and I was like, "This is some slick design thing." I also see that another comment is about your mic. Love your mic. Can you tell us what that is? Because it also matches everything somehow. The camera that is not even part of this show, your headphones. What kind of mic do you use?
Yeah, it's a Teenage Engineering microphone, and what I like, they have all different designs or all different devices, like dictaphone, like I don't know, mixture, etc. In this very design, like it's a cigarette pack, something like that, or like old iPod size, and it's very very pocketable. You don't need like batteries, etc., etc. And I hope sound quality is nice as well.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah. And you just connect it, and it's ready to use, etc. And I saw you absolutely love the countdown. It's actually I just walking around and take photos with the camera, and I set up it with the wrong settings in the way. Just like
that's what
test
happened
shots.
there.
Yeah, and it's like just take a look on the display. It's like, oh wow, it looks cool. And this is a point of art direction, isn't it? Or like good design, you some sort of can see the mistakes and understand. Oh, it's actually cool. It can be useful somewhere, etc. And I made a lot of photography like that. Collected to the like one single video and write music for that, because it just sounds very epic and something like from old anime. I don't know.
We are going to come back to the fact that you are also a composer, which is mind-blowing to me. I'm a person who does not have a lot of musical talent. I always admire people who can compose music, and that will be a nice segue to our conversation about countdowns. A few more comments, a whole behind-the-scenes documentary, love it. Thank you. We're super proud of this new studio, as you can tell, and there will be more content around it. So this was kind of like the start, but yeah, we're super, super excited. I like how I also see the reluctant creator says, nice, simple, professional to up layout. Layout is also something we're going to cover today. Question from X, from Shenji. He asked, can you see this message? Yes, and now everybody else can. So we're going to highlight and acknowledge your questions. Keep them coming, and we will have a whole Q&A session in the end when it's going to be just whatever you guys want to ask us. Phil Sledge says, would like to add option to add QR codes to a carousel. I think I know what you're saying, like the little running ticker that I was running earlier, encouraging people to ask questions, like to add a QR code there. Interesting idea. I don't know.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work design-wise, because it has to be a certain size for it to be workable on different devices, right? Like depending on how big your screen is, you have to be able to actually scan it.
No, it's totally fine, because we have safe zones, and I understand, for example, it can be vertical screen or horizontal screen, and phones nowadays understand. For example, imagine you watching the stream on your phone, but how you can read the QR code?
Huge pain point. Yes, I mean I have a workaround. I have a workaround for it, but do you have one?
I don't know. I mean, in the modern operation system, they some sort of can read from the screen. I'm not sure about iPhone, but I remember Android can do that. And I remember like someone like, hey, scan this QR code, but I just can't because I hold my
because
phone.
I'm already using the phone. Exactly. Yeah, it's a big pain point. So from the iPhone perspective, this is something that they keep saying that's coming in next iterations, that you'll be able to just scan it without screenshotting it. But the workaround right now, and already give it away, is to screenshot that moment of the stream and then come back to your photos. And from there, you can actually click and like hold that QR code, and that will take you to the link. So that's the workaround that you can recommend to your viewers if you have like a very QR code, like CTA, sending people to your shop type stream, right? So that's the workaround that we recommend. Nice idea. So here's a question or comment from James. We use 18 Mini Pro and it has LUT built in. I didn't know what that was until now. Now I do. This is exciting. Very, very cool. Comment from it's Caesar1. Make it stream on YouTube Shorts. That's coming very soon. Literally the next live stream that we're going to host is going to be about streaming in horizontal and vertical at the same time.
Well,
so it's very, very soon. we already designed it. Yes, I'm sure, Dmitry, you know all about it, but it is already possible if you're using something like OBS. We have a vertical plugin. It's free. Install it, break it, play with it, give us your feedback. If you're using Restream Studio, just a little bit more patience, just a little bit more patience. And we are almost there. This is awesome.
We're trying to release everything after we test a lot and etc. So you get the high quality product.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another one from Reluctant Creators. Notice my hair light over the years have now become a hotspot. I started to lose hair. Yeah, hair light is kind of a weird name for it, but you're right. It's basically just like an additional source of light to spotlight something. And it makes sense to spotlight something else because especially if you have multiple different angles, I see a lot of like unboxing streams and streams when people are showing something that they're doing with their hand and then the light just goes there and that's where the camera angle switches. But yeah, this is funny. Yeah, if you're losing your hair, you don't need a hair light. That's for sure.
Yeah. But you can use something like I use here very cheap spotlight or something.
Budget. It's
I actually
budget.
break it. I just like
that is good. That is awesome.
Very cheap.
A few requests for teleprompter. I am using the Elgato one because our new studio, when we set it up, we actually use Elgato teleprompter. It's kind of small. For me, it works because I'm super comfortable constantly looking at the camera, but like I'm actually using it right now to highlight comments. It is something that you can install already, but I understand what you're saying, like just kind of like built-in teleprompter within Studio. We have a notes section that can give you some pointers and can help you kind of like have the run of the show, prepare your questions and things like that. But the full running teleprompter is something that we definitely have on our roadmap. A lot of people are asking for that. I'm curious about your use case because I wonder if people actually read the whole stream as a scripted, teleprompted kind of like text. I do not do that because to me, being live means being authentic and being real. So if someone tried to script me, I would have very hard time with that. I don't know how you feel about it, about teleprompters in general. I feel like notes are much more helpful to me for my format. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what kind of use cases you guys have for teleprompters. How do you feel about teleprompters? Do you want to read stuff?
Yeah. It's I believe it's absolutely totally legit thing because for news, for example, if you have news and you can use block of news in teleprompter and just read the news and then you can interact with the audience and read the comments, etc., or like you just read the news and spread it across the world, across the different channels, because this is why Restream exists.
Yeah, totally.
Stream everywhere.
Yeah. Comment on countdowns from Emma. I wanted to use it yesterday and I wanted music, but the volume level is not accessible. So I used a simple scene instead. I can see what you're saying. Yes. So when you create a countdown and when you use a video for a countdown, yes, you can select the song, but there's no control for volume. Great product feedback. Literally screenshotting it right now and stay tuned. We're going to pass it along to our studio devs because it's a very valid point. Yes, you want to make sure the level of your countdown and the level of your speakers is kind of manageable. So that's what Emma is clarifying because the volume seemed too high for the countdown. Awesome. Here's another question from Technica Media. Any time frame on when we will be able to assign granular permission to team members? Would like to at least be able to assign chat moderation permission. So right now, basically only have two types of permissions, right? It's an admin or it is a co-producer. So admin has access to everything, co-producer only has access to like studio stuff. Usually, if you are trying to get someone permission to only moderate chat, the co-producer is what you need to assign them to. I'm curious to hear like what is your use case? Like why you worry that if the person basically you told them that their job is to moderate chat, but they also have a chance and the option to control scenes and graphics. Why do you think that you need to restrict them from doing that? At least with Charles, we didn't have that problem. If I tell him don't touch scenes, he won't. But I'm curious how that works for you. But right now, there is a little bit, I hear what you're saying. There's a little bit extra permission versus less permission, right? So, but yeah, as we're talking about design and stuff. If, of course, having an extra pair of hands to help you out with chat and with graphics and designs and overlays is always a good idea. So Restream does have team members and collaboration tools. The permission settings and like the granular specifications are still work in progress. Great question. I think I'm going to take a few more and then we're going to talk about countdowns, I promise. Are you manually selecting comments to show on screen? Yes, right now I go to chat. I actually have our moderators to respond to some of the comments directly in the chat. And Charles, our producer, is helping me to start the most important questions or the questions that I want to highlight. And then I just simply click on them whenever I'm ready to take them. So that's how it works. And then I can show them on screen like this. And here is another comment from X. Daddy Sparkly is saying, I'm an artist and I would love to stream to 5 platforms, but it's too expensive. Does Restream have a grant for artists? What we do have is our affiliate program. So if you have a community of other creators and you would like to create videos for us, maybe create some UGC type content or some other things that will help more people to learn about Restream, we do have a program for that, and it comes with a free Restream professional standard account, depending on what you need. So reach out to us, reach out to our support, ask to talk to our team about affiliate program, and we'll set you up. So great question. All right. And yeah, I see the clarification on the question about restrictions. It's a live stream church service, so we need to restrict volunteers' access. Makes sense. I got you. Yeah, great request. All right, so let's go ahead and transition to our conversation about countdowns. I was very impressed with the work that you did on countdowns early on, and just kind of like how different they became from what we used to do for countdowns. Is we would have a background, sometimes the same thing as a thumbnail, right? And then we'll just run the clock, right? Basically, okay, in 2 minutes we're gonna be live. You completely revolutionized that and like changed the way we think about it. The first countdowns were so revolutionary that it was almost kind of like, oh, is that even normal for LinkedIn, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how you approach countdowns and why, like, what are the limits, if any? Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, it came from this very simple idea from the Netflix, actually, because Netflix tried to engage you consistently. If you're watching like modern Netflix movies or TV series, they try to, because they understand, for example, people just take a look at their phones while they're watching the movie and they get bored, etc. And they try to engage you like first 3-5 minutes, then again, etc., etc. So I just take a look on our countdown, and it's just so, sorry about it. It's just so boring.
No, it's okay. No, that's.
It's just like so boring, and I just start thinking about, again, it's our direct approach when it's not about execution or something like that. It's all in our head already. What if our countdown it's already live streaming? What if our countdown or like final titles, it's live streaming never ends. It's like we are still there and we are like still talking with each other, but you can't listen because it's already ended. If you see the news, etc., you see the whole scene, whole studio, people working on the background, camera moves, it's like everything switched on before show starts. And I kind of like this approach, and we are first who actually did live performance. I just like do some live music on the countdown because it's just so engaging, and audience just like so set up on the like it's gonna be excited, gonna be like something interesting, etc., etc. Yeah, something like that. I play absolutely rubbish, random stuff, but yeah, it's fun. People see it live. I not really prepare to that, and it what makes this video interesting, and people want to see what coming next and what coming next, etc. Then I start thinking about, okay, we have so many interesting things what showcase, but it's not about what we want to talk about. And it counterintuitive, but you actually can showcase, for example, you cooking on your show, like literally cooking, or like doing design. I don't know, like cooking in
Yeah.
this type of situation, and you want to showcase the cooking show, but you have another interesting things to do. For example, you do pottery, or you do like music, or you draw something, and it's not related to the cooking at all. For example, pottery, you can just film how you do pottery, and that's it. Like for 2 minutes, two
Yeah.
minutes. It's a good enough amount of time to make the countdown. If you have bigger countdown, for example, you're unprepared or something goes wrong, you always can loop it and reuse the same footage like we did
Yeah.
right now. Like our footage was 1 minute long, and the music I wrote, it was 2 minute longs. So you can't really see where loop coming, because it kind of similar type of photography using there. And I just start thinking, okay, I do photography. Can I showcase photography? Because it's quite cool. Why I should throw it somewhere when we can just showcase it to everyone, and some people just can appreciate it and write the comments like you are today, and I'm so happy to read it. And also, for example, I do music, but I can't. I'm a designer here, and my work here to do design and maybe some direction and maybe some recommendations for marketing stuff, etc. But can I use my hobbies in some professional way as well? So it's always if you want to be or create something unusual, be a very good art director of your shows, just think about, what if I do this stuff? What if I like faked my live stream, for example, and I start live stream with a countdown, but I actually talking about something and people already get engaging, and you're like, oh, hello, I just joking. It's like was pre-recorded or something like that. Or
Right.
you was entertained and stuff, etc. And it's I love it because it's very, very cool place to experiment with and do different stuff, especially with the introducing. You can move, come down, whatever you want. You can play some additional graphics, and yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I want to show, this is not something we prepared originally, but because you mentioned the newsroom, I want to show one example of countdown that we actually ran, kind of like inspired by this idea that the countdown should never be boring. It should be exciting and interesting and different. So this countdown right here, I'm just going to mute it because it's a little bit loud. But literally, the story behind this one is that Alex and I were hosting the stream, and the day or a few days before, we showed up wearing exactly the same outfits that we will be wearing on stream. And we recorded this kind of like a chit-chat newsroom. We're preparing, we're waiting for everything to start, right? And as this was kind of like filmed, we ended up then playing this as a countdown with the timer. And I thought this was a very interesting idea. It looked like we had a countdown overlay while we were just sitting there, but it was actually kind of like geniusly engineered as a separate video that we created. And I think in the future we will bring this opportunity to just kind of like cover yourself as a transparent countdown, and you can actually just film it without preparation and without wearing the same clothes 2 times in a row, which was probably the biggest challenge for me. But there are lots and lots of different ideas, and I think the gist of this conversation is think about it creatively. Countdown is part of your stream, right? Just like titles or sometimes opening credits is part of the movie. And definitely be creative. You can hide some Easter eggs there, kind of like hint on things you're going to be talking about, as well as make it completely random. And I love how you just kind of like randomly dropped in the idea that you compose music, which I think is epic. Just like, oh yeah, I sometimes write music. So if you're streaming about something else, but you sometimes do anything else that is like super sick, you should definitely use that as a countdown. I love that. Do you want to talk a little bit about vertical streams and countdowns there? Because I know more and more people are thinking in terms of streaming vertically. We are bringing landscape and portrait streaming into Restream very soon. How how would you recommend thinking about countdowns when you either have dual stream or when you simply focus on vertical content first?
Yeah. First of all, let's talk about dual stream because it's a pretty new, nice feature what we introduced just recently. Basically, we're still working on it. Yeah, it's like just nice graphics here, isn't it? Yeah.
Who
So
made that?
I know. So yeah, the point is, as you can see here, even on this like preview and stuff, we have some sort of like safe space for the content, and you have to be somewhere in the middle, like a square, because on the vertical, for example, you have this like safe area with a, I don't know, like some Instagram interface on the bottom, on the top, TikTok, YouTube do the same stuff. They have this like comment session, I don't know, hertz or likes going on there, like fires, and you have to count it and try to not abstract cut that what you want to show with all of this stuff. And also, if you use background, try to use square pictures, because you can use the same picture on the vertical and horizontal, and you don't have to prepare photography for like or like picture, or generate the picture like horizontal, vertical, and do like different design, because person can start watching you vertically and switch to the horizontal. For example, if I go to home on the bus and I watching stream vertically, and I came to home and turn on tele, it's gonna be like horizontal. And if it's gonna be like different, it's like different background here on vertical and horizontal, I can assume as a customer, just like as an observer, oh, it's probably different stream, or probably it's different recording, because it looks different. It's like different.
Yeah.
It's like different clothes, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah. So
I love that.
try to keep yourself on the middle, like face on the middle, because if we gonna go like vertical right now, I probably gonna be like abstract with some content overlap with some content from the social network. So consider to place yourself inside of it. The best way to test it, just like make photography of yourself, how it looks like, and put inside of the social network and see how it goes. It just very hard, because every single social network updates every single day, and it's very hard to like count everyone, etc. We eventually, I working on it, and it's like working with the team, etc. We eventually can try account it in the design, and you actually see the safe spaces and place
like a little
yourself.
dotted lines that shows you
Something like, yeah,
Yeah.
something like on the cameras, really. If you shoot on the video camera, you can see the different aspect ratios, how you shoot it, and
Yeah.
etc. And again, if you have a camera, and you consider to buy a camera, try to find some camera with the open gate feature. Open gate when it not like wide aspect ratio, but close to the square, because if you stream both vertical and horizontal, thinking about square, because you're basically rotating your screen. It's like, imagine
that's
you
true.
can rotate your screen at like it should be a perfect circle. In our case, it's just a square. So square it's a safe thing, and all your content on for the background, for the foreground, should be square as much as possible.
Yeah, I love that.
This
I
one.
think this one. I think it's important to. It's a perfect segue. We're going to take a few questions from chat right now, but it's a perfect segue to our next conversation, because the next conversation is going to be about layouts. We are actually going to skip the background stuff, because we are having such a lovely chat. And I do believe that layouts and kind of how you lay out the boxes for solo streams, dual streams, streams with media, and so on is super important. It's both important for how you look on horizontal streams, just like the traditional ones, but it's going to be even more important when you think about potentially streaming in multiple formats, and potentially how it appears on multiple different platforms if you're streaming on different social networks. So Very quickly, a few more questions from the chat. I see this has already been answered, but I just want to acknowledge it from One Media Detroit. Can we make the countdown longer than 10 minutes? Yes, you can. I see that Kate already responded that we have up to 45 minutes countdown. And I guess if your question is about custom time, like basically setting up the specific minutes that you want that work for you, that's a great feature request. And it is possible. We can probably do that. I see that there's a clarification that basically we want to, One Media Detroit wants to add their own music and pre-recorded sounds. So yes, Restream already does that. You can already do that for countdown within any of those ranges, which start from, I think, 10 seconds and go all the way up to 45 minutes. I personally would not recommend a 45-minute countdown unless you're basically trying to do a hybrid stream, which is fine. So if you have a pre-recorded section of your stream that you just want to run as a countdown, basically, you could do that. I guess you could also do it as a seamless video. But a countdown that runs for 45 minutes, you're gonna lose some people. Let me tell you. We're seeing some dropouts. Even like the reason why we landed on a 2-minute countdown, because that was kind of a sweet spot that allowed us to make sure that the stream actually makes it to end platforms, and it kind of like hypes up and prepares people. But anything longer than 2 minutes, we started to see that people are dropping because most people don't want to just sit and look at the numbers for 5 minutes. 45 minutes is pretty extreme. But yeah, if you want to kind of elaborate on your use case, always curious to hear. Because at that point, in my opinion, it already starts walking into the territory of a hybrid stream when part is pre-recorded. I love, there's like a little bit of Restream love here from Christine. I recently did test live and enjoyed learning how to use different features. Thank you. It's obviously always good to hear. Piero here says, I'm a teacher living in Italy and I use Restream for my students at school all the time. I love that. I'm just so, here's my like not great design hearts from Apple. But this is awesome. Quick question about a dual streaming from Electron Creations. Does that count as one destination going horizontal and vertical to YouTube, or would that be counted as two? It is going to be counted as one destination. And we are going to have a dedicated stream for that next week. So all your questions about dual output, dual streaming, going live in horizontal and vertical, portrait and landscape at the same time, either on different channels or within the same YouTube, bring them on next Wednesday. And if you, okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and talk about layouts. So we want to, Restream offers a lot of preset layouts, right? Just to kind of like set the stage here. We also allow a lot of customizations. There's a button that says customize, and Dmitry, I encourage you to press it and play with it if you want to kind of like show people what kind of different shapes and motions and movements you can do.
Oh my God.
Like no pressure, right? No pressure. Let me see what I can do. So that is actually, that's kind of extreme. Let me get us here. So just to get us started, right? Like you can do circles, you can do squares, our favorite shape, square. You can do this kind of stuff. And you can also kind of like play with the radius of it. So you can kind of like smooth the corners. And of course, it's very easy to switch things around. There are multiple different just kind of like preset layouts, right? Like, so this one is what we call showtime. So that's great if one person is presenting and the other person is kind of like a picture. In this case, I'm being a picture and Dmitry is a presenter. This is the other way. Like if I'm talking about him, like this is kind of me putting him on display. There's of course this guy.
It's always about storytelling, how you, it's like this helps to focus on me right now because I'm bigger on the screen. And also try, it depends on your artistic approach, what you want to showcase, but it's always should be visible what you want to showcase. So you can emphasize what you're going to talking about, etc. Or you want to highlight someone. If it's like, I don't know, 4 participants and you can make the one participant bigger and all the rest way smaller, because some people are gonna use the iPhone, for example, or any other mobile device, and it's can you make the extremely small circles right now?
Yeah, I can try. So extremely small of just me, right? Or
Yeah,
both of
yeah,
us.
it's impossible to see, isn't it? It
Yeah.
looks like small avatar,
Yeah.
and I don't want personally people use phone like that.
Right.
know?
Look, I'm
It's
so tiny here. Like, so this is all him at this point, right? Exactly. This. So yeah, this is clearly not ideal. And the shape doesn't matter here. You said small circle, but even if you're a small square or a small rectangle, it's kind of like the same thing, right? Like it's really hard to see what's going on
try
here.
to occupy the whole space, even try remove the gaps, etc. Unless sometimes you need this background. For example, you have branding, etc. I don't know if I click here. For example, we have this beautiful background what I take with a long exposure for on the near London Bridge, and I just like moved camera like so to showcase the movement, etc. And some people use the branding on the background. It can be like your personal brand, and you want to like place yourself inside of brand, but try to avoid this very view if possible, because it looks like I looking like
glasses. Yeah, if the shape reminds you, if the shape of your that's actually cool insight. If the shape of your layout reminds you of an object, like if it looks like a car with like some, right? Like if you're showcasing some media and then you have like two wheels under it with people. If it looks like glasses or like smiley face, this, unless you're really going for it because that's part of your idea, because like that's comedic or funny or like for some reason that's like part of the identity of what you do, definitely avoid that. So like the layout
it can be circle. Again, it depends what you want to showcase. For example, I want to showcase how I draw icon, for example, in Figma, and I open the Figma and I want to showcase my workspace and my screen. In this case, me as a person not interested to you because you are focused on this very picture, on this very like, I don't know, desktop or what I'm showcasing. In this case, I can make myself smaller and even use circular shape. They're just like, I know I'm here. You see, I'm here. I'm talking, and it's good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a good example, and we can actually use like a more contrasty background. Like, so if your conversation is about like, hey, this is me designing a background, right? Like, then you can definitely go for a small circle or a small square, and then just basically allow all the attention to be here. But in most cases, I could not agree more that layouts that are occupying most of the space and focus big time on speakers is the best. I do have an additional spiel on that I would like to add, and that is about thinking about your post-production. And that's not only your producer who is going to potentially do the cut down and do certain things with content to repurpose it. Hello, Charles, I see you. This is also about Restream clips. If you're using our feature of automatically clipping your content after your live show, which is awesome and is a lifesaver and time saver big time, you also need to think about how your speakers, yourself as a host, and your media will appear in those clips. So what we were showing earlier, remember when I was a teeny tiny circle, so that kind of source, that kind of camera is going to be very difficult to clip because I'm already diminished big time in terms of my resolution. And then if we're trying to make a clip of Dmitry talking and me being kind of like a co-speaker with him, my video is going to get much more pixelated, right? So if you plan to create clips when two people are kind of sharing insights and talking about something, think about keeping them as big as possible because that is going to help your clips big time. If you're using media, make sure that you keep that media as big as possible because then in the clip, you can choose a layout when the media is most of your screen, right? And then you might be in a little circle under or in a little square under. In that case, the media gets the priority, so make sure that that takes a big part of your layout. That's just my experience with clips because we have done a few demos when we would show videos and stuff. And at this point, I pretty much skip having small squares or small circles of videos with people, because if the main event is like this behind the scenes video that Charles made about the studio, let it just be the full screen and the main thing, because then for clipping it's just going to be easier than to figure out how to align small cameras and the media content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense. So a bigger picture, better.
The bigger picture, the better.
Yeah,
I
again,
absolutely love that.
You can see recent Netflix movies, and they cut. It's a lot of like very, very close focus. Person, it's impossible to see in the cinemas. If you go to the cinema, it's so close. It's like, especially with the movie Don't Look Up, when it's like every single face just cropped because people are watching it on the iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
if you go to the IMAX movie, they do absolutely opposite. For example, in Dune, they use extremely small person, for example, with a huge worm or like huge buildings, etc., to create this sense of scale there. So yeah, it depends where and like. But yeah, assuming most people use mobile phones anyway, so you have to like make everything bigger, readable, and like just fonts bigger, logos bigger. Yeah, just go bold with it.
I really like this. I think you're touching on a very important point here, that it's easy to underestimate, because when you're producing content like this live stream, right? We're sitting in the studios, we have computers, we have extra monitors and a lot of equipment. But when we think about the viewer experience, it's easy to forget how many people are watching everything exclusively on mobile device, right? And a lot of those phones don't have large screen. And this is really good reminder that whenever you're showcasing anything, thinking big, thinking mobile, thinking vertical is always a good idea. So will this show up well on the vertical device or on a vertical screen or on a small screen, or someone who doesn't really see well? Going bigger, going bolder, and just like focus on like one main thing instead of like packing your stream with 7 guests and media sources and different things and captions and logos and overlays. That creates a lot of layers that are not as easy to perceive, I guess, when you are looking at the small screen. It's really good stuff.
Sometimes it's extremely hard to keep focus on one thing. It's like on many things. I can say it's way easier when you see something.
Yeah.
One thing again, it applies to anything basically in terms of how we set up the light. I personally lead way more than my background, and it can be better, to be honest. It's like too much light goes there, but yeah, it is what it is. It's like try to put what you want to talk about and what you want to showcase simple as possible, bolder, bigger, and so on.
Less distractions. And I cannot stress it enough. It kind of circles back into the conversation of clips, how much it helps to have decluttered stream. When we showcase some of the comments of yours or overlays or captions, encourage you to ask questions, notice how we show them and then we try to move on and remove them, because that allows us to keep our future clips cleaner. Because when you have a lot going on, a lot of overlays and a lot of things, Charles, our producer, who will join us in the end of this stream, will tell you what a pain it is to remove all that stuff from your clip. How difficult it is to cut and crop a ton of different things that make sense on the stream, like your QR codes, your comments, your CTAs, your visuals, your screen shares, like all of that stuff makes sense on your live. But how difficult, here we go. How difficult will it be to remove this guy from the clip? Because it basically will have to crop me here, which is fine because we designed this stream for that, with that in mind. But if you didn't, and if your overlay covers the whole thing, then that's going to be a challenge.
Yes,
I would like.
Indeed.
Yes, it did. Right?
I know that I did a lot of content for social networks before, and it just is so painful when you don't have the clear picture, really.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to take a few questions, so we keep it interactive. But the next section is going to be, we're basically going to be like wrapping up and kind of like summarizing everything we talked about, and then we'll take a few final questions, because I know we've been live for an hour and prepping for another. So, Dmitry, I hope you're holding on.
Yeah, it's
I know.
totally fine. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's keep taking as many questions as we can, because this is truly unique conversation about visuals that we don't always have, and I think it's such an important part and element of live content and creation in general. And also, I would like to invite you guys, if you're watching and commenting right now, to let us know in the chat, in live comments, if you would like to see more of a design shows or conversation about visuals for streams, because in January this year, we're shaping up how our cadence of live streams is going to happen. We already mentioned last week that we are going to go live every Wednesday. So it's a weekly live stream. It's going to be a combination of Ask Me Anything with our devs. It's going to be some launches and product announcements, such as hopefully next week we'll share about vertical and horizontal streaming. But we will also kind of like mix in some conversations about gear, some conversations about design. So let us know in the comments if the design show or conversations about visuals and designing of your stream canvas is something that you find valuable, and if you want more of this. If you do, bad news for you or good news for you, because that means you're going to co-stream with me more often. All right, a few questions.
It's great. It's great. I need more practice.
You need more practice? No, you're great.
Yeah, because when we just started, I was so nervous. Oh my God.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah. It's normal. I've been doing this for 7 years now, 8 years at Restream almost, and at least 7 years co-hosting hundreds and hundreds of shows. And it does get easier with time, with practice, but it never, like that little nervousness and that little like butterflies, they never go away. Yeah, it's totally fine. I love it. One more question on countdown. Can we possibly, can we position the countdown anywhere on the screen? Yes, you can. This is actually my favorite thing whenever we have a new countdown design from Dmitry. I always position, I pick the font and I position it, and I always run it by him like, hey, is this a good place for it? And he's always like, this is totally fine. Or he moves it, which happens like, hey, keep it to the side. Don't put it in the center. What is that thing about the center? You don't like the countdown in the center, right? Like you like to keep it off center.
Again, it's all about how we preserve the information. And if you place countdown somewhere, your leading lights, in the photography, for example, you use leading lights. It's like lines. It can be like lines on the road or something like that, which points you to the certain focus point. And your countdown, it's a focus point. If you place it on the center, we have to use video or photography pointing somehow to this. Imagine like it's very, very simple. In the Star Wars, when shuttle just like jumped to the like ultra
speed,
it's like just this like ultra speed thing. Yeah. It's like a lot of stars and all of this stuff, like have this certain thing. If you have this kind of background, you can absolutely place on the center because all attention gonna be there. And if I want to shift attention, for example, towards photography or videography there, I can put it on the side because it's still visible, but it's not obstructing you from the like consuming the content. And for example, for photography, I want to place it slightly
off
on the side,
on the edge.
Yeah. But again, if you go vertical and horizontal at the same time, consider to place it on the center somewhere, because again, if you place it too far,
it will be cropped. Exactly.
Nobody really see it, and so
that's a good one.
Always depends. But use leading lights and use like where you want to see. For example, if I take photo of the person looking this direction, I can place my camera slightly towards like this way to just make observers see where I'm looking. And it's like or like opposite. You can do like contra intuitive, and it works as well, like deconstructive design.
You have to think about your frame, because like I do this sometimes and it looks like I'm looking at you, right? But you're obviously not in this room. So it is a little bit of a crazy talk, a little bit of a crazy thing, because like I try to look at you to create this atmosphere, this like feeling, this stuff. Yeah, exactly. That we're just right next to each other and connecting. It takes practice to kind of, but I'm literally looking into the void. I'm looking at the wall And I'm trying to like make it a conversation that we're looking at each other, right? Here we go. Love it.
Nobody called me a wall before.
A void, an empty wall. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, question about LinkedIn. It's fairly easy to go live on LinkedIn, but what if you have trouble connecting? I would say my pro tip for trouble connecting to any platform is to use our 24/7 live chat. We have amazing support team there. Their average response time is under 2 minutes. So even if you have the most important stream of your life and you are kind of in rush, things get hectic, but those folks are great. They're streaming engineers. They will jump in. They will help you test, troubleshoot. They are the best people to help you because sometimes people share some of their experiences on social media, and this is very valuable feedback for us. We appreciate it. But for us to help you, we should have access to your account and to be able to investigate it. And the support team members are the ones who have that access. And they are the best people to really troubleshoot with you and get you live as soon as possible on even the day when something doesn't seem to work out right. So definitely check out with them. LinkedIn is a little bit of a more intricate platform. We are working on a lot of new tutorials and content on how to set yourself up for success on LinkedIn. So stay tuned for that. My pro tip would probably be make sure you test on your LinkedIn page before you go live with your important event, because there are a few things that you just kind of like need to get a hang of before you can do it consistently. And if it's still not working out for you, talk to our support team. They are amazing. All right. There are a few more questions. So yes, you can drag and drop your countdown. There are some comments on wonderful. This looks so amazing. Someone earlier said, I love circles. I'm trying to find that comment. So I'm struggling with it, but it was just like, I love circles. I love that. That was really good.
Yeah, it's totally fine if you make it bigger and etc. Yeah. It's like just consider it's very, very small and try to make the screenshot.
Love the circles.
Always try to make the screenshot of your setup. It's very simple in the studio. Just make a screenshot, open it on the iPhone, and see how people. And especially if you have glasses, try to remove glasses as well and see how people actually preserve this information. And you're right. Sometimes we can use very small circles to just potentially hide something.
Like a messy background. That's a good
messy
example.
Background.
Messy
or
background.
It's just like very bad picture, or you have bad mood. You can hide it with a small size. So it's always about like how you direct things.
If you have bad mood, I don't know if circles will help. Maybe don't go live. But this is a pro tip. I'll try it. Next time I have a bad mood, I'll just make the tiniest circle of myself as possible and see what it's going to do. Good question from Christian again. I noticed when I put a picture on the screen, it minimizes my screen with me talking to the side. Is there a way to keep the speaker frame larger on the screen when you share a picture? Absolutely, yes. Oh my God, I'm going to do a quick little demonstration, if you don't mind. I just need to find a decent picture that will help me illustrate this point. I don't know if anyone wants to find something. I'll let you drop in a picture. I'm just kind of going through some of my screenshots. Well, maybe this one. This is just kind of like our multi-streaming video, right? Scheme. So if you're doing this, a lot of times what happens is we are defaulting your picture share to this layout, which is Showtime, right? So if I was alone, I would be even smaller. Because I'm with Dmitry, we are a little bit bigger here. What happens is you also have a customization option, right? Like you can actually switch the sides between like where this is appearing. And then again, in Customize, you can there are a few things that you can do. However, if you don't want this layout, because this picture is not that important, there are all kinds of layouts that you can do to keep things different, right? Like, so for example, you can keep yourself large and have this picture on the side. You can do something like this. Well, this is vertical, so that probably won't work for the picture. This was already modified, so there's those circles are hunting us. But basically, the bottom line is whenever you get this Showtime or Showcase variation, and I don't know about this thumb up, you do have an option to kind of like move things around. And you even have layouts like this one where you can still focus all the attention on your key image. And these are our tiny squares that you should never use for clips because they are way too small. But there are all kinds of customizations there, how you could keep your image large and visible versus yourself and versus being a speaker. So it's all like just play with those layouts, try to switch things around, try to click on this customize button and play with circles, shapes, edges, and kind of like movements around the screen. And you will see that you have a lot of options when you share. But we do have this default whenever you drop a picture that it basically becomes this Showtime layout. And the reason for that is that we believe that most of the time when you're showcasing a picture, this is kind of like the best preset for showing your media while staying relatively large on the screen. So it's like this Showtime version. And imagine that Dmitry is a picture in this situation. Yeah. So that's kind of like what we default to. Good question. Let's see what else we have going on in our chat. Just going to come back to our chat questions and our stars. So Christy says, I would love to see more design shows and visuals.
Nice. Thank you.
So this is going to happen. Christian, whose question we just took, says, I would love to see more design shows and visuals as well. This is awesome. I love it.
I should prepare more examples. Unfortunately, I had a lot of work to do.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, well, we wanted to test the waters for me as a lead on live streams in general. It was important to understand if this is even going to work, right? Like if people are actually interested. We see the amazing engagement and love it. So we are definitely like, I can already tell you that we are going to have this design show at least like every month or every 6 weeks because it is working out really, really well. So this is probably Alex, our head of product here, with the sick with a lot of cakes. I love it. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So comment from David Foster. I can honestly see using this instead of OBS just because of the comments on screen and interviews. Yes, comments on screen help. This is, and especially with the new theme called Air, you can see how the comments are kind of like floating and there's no background. We used to have multiple different themes. I'm just going to showcase just in case so you can see. Like your comments can look like this, which is kind of, very pronounced. You can also have this little like news line that kind of like swaps your name with your comment. We have this round thing, which I know a lot of people like because it has a little bit of character. And you can also customize the color there. So for example, you can use something different for the color. See like how David's name changed, and you can make it.
And also, it's very cool for readability.
Yeah.
If you for example have quite intense content somewhere, like a lot of texture. Imagine, for example, I can wear some 80s style stuff, and it's like not earthy black one, etc., because I know it's gonna be like text on the bottom. And we try to make everything dark and kind of equal and like not overlap with the text, etc. But we try to design every single theme in the way it's readable as much as possible and accessible as much as possible. And when we allow you to change the color as you want, but always consider about how people with a reduced vision can see. And a lot of people actually have accessibility issues with the eyes, for example. It's about like 30% of the whole population of the planet have different accessibility issues, and try to make your stream, your show accessible as much as possible, because this is the way how you can reach more and more audience. Make it just comfortable to watch, comfortable to read, and also consider some people can't really see you, but they listen you as a podcast. And if you have something, try to always describe what you're doing. And for example, I show a new iPhone and I rotate in the iPhone and such and such. So you some sort of try to pronounce what you're doing on the show.
Yeah.
Or you show in the photography, and you can, like another guest, can just describe what happened on the photography.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It really helps to visualize for people who do not watch the stream. It can be like a person, for example, who drive in the car right now and just don't want to miss the stream. I just listen it
Yeah.
as a radio, for example, if it makes sense. And also we read in all comments for you, just in case you don't want to read them.
Exactly. It's actually a very good point how many people are experiencing this live stream as a podcast. And it's not only for folks who are trying to watch us while they're driving the car. A lot of people will have it as an open tab on their laptop while they're doing some other work and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of different flexibility there. This Air version looks good. I know, this is my favorite theme. And I'm so happy you see that as well. Because to me, this is probably one of my best themes. And to me, this kind of like really, for our show, it makes the most sense. So we're very proud of this theme. And more themes are coming, right, Dmitry? I'm sure
Absolutely.
You're thinking about more ways to show captions.
I wish in future people can create their own teams, and we have some sort of like marketplace with the teams, etc. But it's in the future. It's like it's my personal wish because like I am a designer, and we can hire or we can ask more designers to came and create these teams. But actually, I want really to let people to express themselves, even if it's like considerably maybe not very well done, etc. But at least it just this person made it, and this person think it's cool and etc. If you want to use Comic Sans, why not? You want it, and you have the show, which is like imagine like I don't know kids show or something like that. It can be absolutely funky and usual stuff, or you talking about I don't know watches. It can be like opposite, very Swiss like design, very like strict,
very Swiss like,
etc. Yeah,
very classic. Yeah, I love that. These are all really cool things. Vinto is saying, damn good points on that. I am actually producing an intro video for an upcoming live stream. And as we're setting up, it makes me rethink some of my choices. This is the type of feedback we'll love to hear, because I love to know that what we're talking about here impacts your decisions and hopefully levels up your streams. This is why we do this show. So thank you so much for sharing. And let us know what you're streaming and what the outcome is going to look like. It would be really cool to join and say hi. All right, a few more comments. This one, I like this from Reluctant Creators. It sounds like you need a new feature where you've got your final output without graphics and recorded as a second recording for clipping. So what you can already do is you can do local recordings, which is our feature that we launched in November last year. Probably November. I'm sorry, Matt, who worked on that. And we allow you to basically record the cameras of your guests and your own directly on your device, and then you get that local recording, and it's a lot higher quality. It can be up to 4K if your camera allows that, and then you can use that for repurposing. When it comes to clipping, our automated clipping system will basically take the whole stream, right? Like, so it will be clipping with this graphics, with this overlays and chats. But if you want to just upload your video of just your guest or just you and ask Restream to generate clips for you, you can do it that way. And in that case, all the overlays will be gone. So that I believe would be something that you could play with. So that kind of already exists. It's just not very like straightforward and intuitive. And it does start on Restream Professional to unlock local recordings. All right, what else? Let me pick a question. Restream customer service is always great. That is very true. Comment from David again about how our studio has morphed so much. Yes, we played a behind the scenes video in the beginning of the stream, and we will be posting it on YouTube shortly. So it's a cool story of how we reimagined our space. So Restream mods are saying, guys, this means a lot to our team. Thank you so much. That is about wanting more live shows about design. Here is another one from James. How about using Elgato Stream Deck to swap scenes and other functions? I love that question. Yeah. Do you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, using any hotkeys and any additional controllers, it's our huge plan, really, because especially if you're streaming alone, and it's very hard to fidgeting with with any interface, even if we build it like extremely simple to use, etc., you still can benefit from the hardware controls. It's fair for every single device. Like if you take photos on the iPhone, it's a lot of controls, a lot of fidgeting with the controls, etc. But if you take photos with the camera, for example, it's a lot of buttons. Same goes to the cars, for example. Modern cars are just like displays everywhere, and it's very hard and unsafe to use with your fingers, and because you keep your eyes on the road, and we don't have like fully automatic, full self-driving cars yet. And the same happens with the streams as well, because stream is a online, real-time, live thing, and it's not a lot of room to mistake.
Yeah.
And if something gets wrong, or you want to showcase something, and nobody really want to see your hands go into your laptop and try to somewhere there, it's very creepy, and it's very easy if you have some physical controls with the buttons, and your muscle memory helps you just click on these buttons. So we own it.
Yeah,
I can say,
but
because I personally really want to use it as well.
Yeah, that would be really cool. But hotkeys already exist, so those are basically just the keyboard hotkeys. Like you can press certain letters, and that will like mute your mic, pull in all the guests and stuff like that. You can see the full, basically breakdown of all the hotkeys in your settings. So if you click the setting icon and you go to hotkeys, you will see what each of the keyboard key does. But I agree, Stream Deck would be even better and more convenient. I'm not going to skip this one because I cannot skip the yo-yo from Norway. That's awesome. Hi there. David is saying, it's been a while since I used Restream Studio. Can we add browser sources for alerts from Streamlabs and so on? Browser source is coming. It is one of our priority features for Q1 or Q2. Alex mentioned that last week during our live stream because someone also had that question. Browser source is something we're actively working on. So you should definitely come back and try Studio. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
and
it should change everything, to be honest, in terms of how design works in the studio, because you can basically put whatever you want. You can use some frameworks and like Rive. I really wish to use Rive, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the most common case here is for alerts, right? Like when someone is subscribing or tipping you, it's super important to call those awesome folks out, and browser source and those alerts from tools like Streamlabs are allowed to do that. So yeah, we're on it. It's coming soon. And I see that the Zook already has like, I think I will try to use Restream Studio next time instead of OBS. That's awesome. That is, OBS is a great tool. It's very powerful. But yeah, we really appreciate you considering switching, because Restream Studio is getting so much better every day that eventually it becomes, it can do all the
it's just less friction,
things.
isn't it?
Less friction.
Yeah, you use one tools instead of using many tools, really. So yeah, we try to do our best, making just one single solution, like your streaming operation system, if you call it. You just make it full screen, do whatever you want there. You set up, like produce, art direct, and go live in one single place.
Absolutely. Another compliment for Air Theme. Love hearing those. Here is an interesting comment on how you could use Restream in different variations, like two different Restream products. I use both Restream Studio and OBS, and I use them for different functions. Restream for my own live show and OBS for 24/7 streaming. This is really cool because, yes, as you all know, Restream connects to OBS and allows you to multi-stream your OBS feed basically to many different destinations. And unlike some plugins, it does not use your resources and your CPU and your computer and your internet. Everything is happening on our server. So basically you're sending one OBS signal to us, and then we distribute it into all platforms at the same time, which is awesome for 24/7 streams and just more like kind of heavy production. Think sports and media or gaming, when you have like a lot kind of going on and you need like a more powerful scene building tool. But for live show, talk show, design show like this one, of course, Restream Studio has kind of sleeker design, easier UX, very easy learning curve, right? Like you don't have to learn a lot. It's kind of intuitive. You can just start it. Yep. And it's kind of like works like Google Meet, but on steroids because you have so much more to offer in terms of production quality.
And also in terms of UX and stuff, because it's UX. We are working actively on the plugin for OBS, so it's going to be way easier to use. So it's way easier to connect and monitor what's happening, and you can monitor what's happening with all your channels simultaneously. So it's like way easier to set up, way easier to use, and it should look better, I believe. And also it comes to the studio as well with a better channel setup, more convenient, more obvious. So we almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, it's awesome. So there's a question about recordings. Do local recordings separate audio as well? I believe they do. In a minute, we'll bring Charles in here. He'll download local recordings all the time, and he will correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that yes, you can separate.
Yeah,
you also,
should be.
Yeah, but you also have separate audio tracks, even if you download from like the cloud recording. So that already exists. That's been around for a long time. But local recordings should allow you to do that as well. And I can see the danger zone here actually says it does in each individual camera and audio only. So you can have So that's a great clarification. You can
and also if you by mistake have, for example, it's you don't have access to the studio, it's someone send you videos and you for example, you do podcast editing and you just have these videos and stuff. You can open video, for example, in QuickTime and save audio from the QuickTime. It's just standard tool, and same I believe in Windows. It's like I don't remember the video player in Windows right now, but you can save audio from there just straight away and use it whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. One Media Detroit is asking, will there be a feature that will bring one speaker more forward than the others that are not speaking? So I think you're talking about automatic kind of highlighting of speaker. It's just two of us, so we don't need this. But imagine if we had 4 or 5 people, kind of like a Zoom-like thing when you just highlight and like enlarge the one who is talking automatically. I would love that feature, especially when I host AMAs with developers and I have 5 of them and they are all like taking questions and occasionally talking over each other. I wish it was my job to like constantly click and enlarge and kind of like scale up the speaker, and it could just be done automatically. So we feel that pain and we are working on that. But probably the best way to also add some context to that is to go to ideas.restream.io and upload that feature on our feature request platform. And I will show that link in just a second.
It's already feature request about it.
Yeah, there is a request. You just upvote it, and if you keep upvoting it, it will just get prioritized because we look there daily, and everything that gets more attention and more love from our community becomes part of our roadmap. That's how it works. All right. Just a few more questions from here. All right. Not sure what happened there with Dmitry.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here. Okay, good. Will the Air theme allow for black fonts instead of the white ones? What do you think? Will this Air theme be available in black? Because right now it's only one color, right?
Yeah, because it's possible. We can make it. However, we try to avoid usage of the white background because people can consume video on the large display, and it's fairly quite impossible to watch, and you just lost the audience in this case. But like more and more configurations coming, but it's probably not the first priority right now. Right now, we're focusing on the better experience overall, like how to connect channels, how like we recently completely redesigned the whole top bar where it's like way better, way easier to use, etc. So we try to focus on the better experience first, and then we some sort of like made this loop and return to the features to increase the quality of the features, if it makes sense. And also in the future, you can place basically virtually websites on top of your like we talked about before, and you can basically design your own engine or something like that, which is like collects all the data, etc., etc. So it's like way more advanced than we have right now. But in terms of design, we're trying to do all our best to people just do not screw stuff, because sometimes people just like put extremely large font or it's like extremely small font because they use, for example, extremely large screen, and people on the mobile phones, they can't really read it. And what we try to do in the studio, try to avoid human mistakes like that.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Here's another question on human mistakes or human actions that could be automated.
Human
Is there
error.
a way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a way to end the stream automatically once the finishing video plays? So basically, if you have a thanks for watching stream and that's done playing, if I started my thanks for watching stream, I basically want it to end as soon as the video ends playing. Great feature request. We currently do that manually. We are lucky to have a co-producer with us to help us with this, but it's a great point. Once you named just like a countdown timer, right? Like it automatically switches to your scene with the two of you. Your end down timer or ending video should be ending the stream. That's a great idea. I love it. We'll definitely be passing it directly to our team.
I have actually a question about it.
Oh yeah?
To you, because I remember we have playlists, and probably it's more feature for playlist if you want to showcase some videos. For example, you film some movies and you want to like present it in terms of like live, one of the kind thing, etc., and live streaming. Probably it's a more feature for playlist. Probably playlists have it, but we should try.
Playlists are pre-recorded, right? Playlist is something that you can create with only pre-recorded video. And I think what the question here is about, if you had a live stream just like ours, after we're done, after Charles says hello to everybody and we wrap up, we will have this thank you screen and the music playing and basically saying goodbye. But then to end this, we have to physically press the end stream button, right? And again, like we're actually going to be live, but imagine if we had like a closing video, like a nice little Restream commercial that kind of like wraps up the stream. I believe that this request is about the ability to basically auto switch to end stream when you're done and you're playing your final video clip. But playlists do that already. If you have a stream when you pre-created multiple videos and you stitch them together, once your last video in the playlist ends up playing, it does automatically finish. So we should have the foundation to do this already, just like you say, based on what playlists can do. But it's just not available for live streams, but it should be. I agree. I love that. It's awesome.
Yeah. Again, it's a very cool thing, but we try to remove human error as much as possible in this case. And if you, for example, place a wrong video or something like that, with like shorts or something goes wrong with the video itself, and it just like eventually stop streaming, it can be like a huge error, and you can't really restart stream because you have to announce it again. And we're trying to make product where people don't screw up and actually help them to build the best storytelling and best possible thing, if it makes sense. So it's a good point.
Yeah,
and,
so see, James believed that it's easier to goof up when you have to manually end versus when you make a decision to call something a closing video, which I can see both sides of the like someone can make a mistake by putting a wrong video as a thank you screen video, and someone can make a mistake by like not ending the stream on time. But it is an interesting feature, especially if it's optional. You can basically, like with countdown switcher, right? Like you can say, hey, switch my countdown for me, or let me do it myself, kind of dealer's choice. Really cool. Awesome. And we need more Restream t-shirts. I agree. Dmitry makes some good designs. So maybe next time we will do a little giveaway for a few of our interesting designs. All right. I will go ahead and switch us to our final screen, where we are going to invite Charles, our wonderful producer, to say hello as we wrap up. Hello. You're muted. But you can unmute.
Sorry, I'm doing several things. Hi, good morning. Danger Zone, I see you. You were late. Dude, I've got so much to say about this stuff that's going on today. This is a great show. I really enjoyed myself. You can hear me okay? I got a new microphone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Something I really found super interesting, what you said, Dmitry, was talking about using the countdown as a sort of making it interesting way to funnel people into the live show. And it made me think about the lines at Disneyland or Disney World. They're fun. They make that experience fun. So, and the way that you articulated with how to generate that by saying, bring your hobbies into it. Honestly, you just sort of made my mind fire. And I really appreciate that. I really like that.
You can play games on the countdowns. Why not?
Yeah.
Just try to not use licensed music and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you are doing gaming, I think a lot of games they have stream mode where you can turn off licensed music in the background.
Yeah.
I've got a lot.
I mean, it can be countdown, but I play, I don't know, Fortnite, for example, and it's like everyone watching, like how playing Fortnite, and they already engaged, and you just eventually start talking about, I don't know, history of buildings and stuff.
Yeah. What a transition.
Nothing related. It can be absolutely unrelated. Or opposite, you can just warm up your audience and talking about related stuff. Or again, it's like I just cooking some directions, some ideas. Imagine you gonna stream live or something, or talking about, I don't know, like new iPhones or new MacBooks or like some new cars unveiling, and it's like you record your own reaction on that, and you can just put on the countdown some rumors and some concepts, which is like can be absolutely rubbish. I don't know, like some crazy transparent headphones going to be announced, or like something like that, and people just watching it, and they starting assuming we're going to talk about this stuff. So it's like you some sort of like warm up and do like all this movement inside of the head.
That's awesome.
That's
love
great.
Love it.
I love the whole conversation around LUTs, and I mean, discussing your whole discussion about directing your eye around the screen. You know, using how did you describe leading lines? There you go. It's a good job I keep notes. Can I just weigh in on? Someone was asking about LinkedIn. Is it okay if I quickly weigh in on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
So what I would say is there are two ways to connect to LinkedIn. You can either create an event on LinkedIn. Oh, you can just go live. You can just add it as a channel and just go live. That's the first way. Yeah. Then there are events. And there are two ways to connect events. You either make it on LinkedIn, and then you come to Restream, create an event on Restream, and then connect to that event on LinkedIn. Bit complicated, but it works. Or you just make the event on Restream, and it will then generate that on LinkedIn. And then you can then use that post that it's created on LinkedIn to then do your boosting and your promoting.
Promotion. Invite, share it. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be the way that I would do it. It's the way that it's the way that LinkedIn works that sort of forces our hand on that.
But we do have a great tutorial on that, which is coming out very soon. And yes, at Restream, we do schedule directly at Restream because it's just a lot easier and it's just like much more streamlined and straightforward this way. I understand that some people schedule those events like months and months and months in advance, and they might not necessarily be ready to create a studio and a draft to immediately schedule on Restream. But you could. All you need is actually the same stuff that you would need to create that event on LinkedIn. You need some kind of a visual, which you actually can change and update later, and the title of that stream and the small description. As long as you have that, you can already create that event directly from Restream and then build up your scenes and your flow of the show later. So that's the way that I would recommend doing it. But yes, sometimes you need to connect into the existing one, and the guide on that is coming out soon. So you guys have been basically driving this conversation for almost 2 hours. This is one of the longest shows I've ever hosted, and I am so grateful. And it was such a engaged and dynamic discussion. Thank you so much for all the viewers and all the commenters and chatters today, because you really kept us on fire. Very exciting. And of course, thank you guys to two of you, especially to Dmitry, our first time guest on Restream Live Show, but definitely not the last time. The people have spoken, and we will have Design Show again. All right, any last words before we switch into...
I have one last thing. Is that anyone that's watching may notice that we get a cut down done. This is going to take a little longer. Grant, thank you very much for your help on that. So Grant and I will get the live stream cut down published on Fridays, hopefully. Make sure you go and like and subscribe those, and look at the shorts that I make. Time and energy goes into those, so go and subscribe and give those a like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
My reactions working. I never get my reactions working. Anya, how do you get your reactions to work?
I think the heart should go. Yeah, because it's the layout. Your thumb up is probably just kind of popping up somewhere where people can see it. Awesome. Yeah. All right, Dmitry, anything you want to say as the last design preaching for people?
Always think about accessibility and make yourself visible and readable. Think about sound quality, like get nice microphone. Do not use these like small radio microphones. They sounds really horrible, to be honest. You can just like buy a small microphone, like on the tele and stuff, and it's absolutely fine if everyone see the microphone. It's absolutely okay. Just try to avoid these headphones microphone. It sounds awful because sound and light probably the most like main thing. If you go, it creates this professional look, and if in my not professional setup, just light and good sound works.
Yeah, it works.
Sound treatment in a room. If you work in a room that's got rugs, you can hang up like moving sheets, those moving blankets to deaden the sounds, to stop the reflections of the sound. That goes an enormous way to make even the worst mic sound much better. The other thing is diffuse your light. Direct light is very sharp. So you'll notice on me, I try and keep it nice and soft here, and that's by diffusing. I have a great big light source, but I diffuse it. There you go.
Yeah, here we go.
Like if I remove this diffuser, for example, you can see.
Oh,
yeah,
that is a ghost.
And
or
you can
interrogation.
Sorry. You can diffuse the light simply by putting a sheet over your window.
Yeah.
That will work.
There's so many creative ways. I love that. My main takeaway, I would say, is around how to keep things simple, decluttered, very monocolor as possible, and make sure that the most important thing that you want to show or tell stays large. Like that would be my biggest takeaway. Like in this conversation, we have three of us. We are the speakers. We are the important part of this last segment, and we are full screened, as focused and as large as possible, because it's just easier that way for our viewers. Well, thank you so much, everybody.
But never sit too close to the camera, because it makes everyone uncomfortable as well. Because imagine you talking with a person
who's right here.
It's so hard to speak with a person like that. It's like you just.
You have to have some sense of proportion. It should be
very comfortable distance.
Yes, large in terms of as like space that it occupies on your screen, not zoomed in to the point when it's too crazy. Awesome, love that. Great conversation. We'll bring you more tips next time, and thank you everybody for joining in, for tuning in. Big thank you to you, Charles, for co-producing with us, starring, managing this whole thing, testing with us, helping us to run this show. Dmitry, of course, for you, for your 2 hours contributing today, and hopefully more in the future. Thank you to our mods in the chat. Folks, you've been great responding to questions. All the viewers, all the folks that will be watching this as a replay instead of live, we will be back next Wednesday. And cheers.